Welcome, Scorpio. Thanks for joining me on my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I am a transformational energy healer and a multidimensional channel. And I am here doing your bi-weekly reading today. As I mentioned in the Libra reading, I'm really just sort of finding my way here on YouTube, kind of working out what it is that I want to do, what people like, what resonates with me, what my time schedule is, and what I can continue to give. So right now it's almost looking like it's going to be half the zodiac one week, the other half the next, and then we just keep cycling through, and I do one after the other when I can. Okay. So also this week I am not going to do extendeds. I do want to do them in the future, but for this week, it just sort of is what it is, okay? So definitely check out the full moon in Aquarius reading that I did, or channeling more, that I did last night. So it was published on August 14th. Not sure when you're watching this video. If you are not watching it around the time that I made it, it's fine. There's still probably something here for you if you have found it. So the time doesn't really matter. All right. So finally, the other thing I want to say is if you decide you would like to do a private reading with me, you can do that by visiting my website at IamEmilyGear.com, and you can schedule a reading, a healing session, akashic record session, even a pet session, actually, because I'm also an animal communicator. You can do all of those things through my website, okay? All right, so let's get into your reading. Let's find out what energies are showing up for Scorpio in the next 2 weeks, please. Messages for Scorpio for the next 2 weeks. This exact same card came out for Libra last night. These are a bit different. Okay, so we're starting with the Nine of Pentacles. That came out for Libra last night. You're also getting the Nine of Wands and the King of Wands here showing up. I'm getting a really distinct emotional vibration out of this, and it is the vibration of being fed up with something. There's probably a situation potentially at home, potentially at work. It could be really either one. I don't think it's social, but it really could apply to any place in your life. So just take it as it resonates. But there's something that you're really getting fed up with that has been going on for a very long time, that has been, in some sense, really wrecking your sovereignty. I hate that word. It's sort of like encroaching upon your own personal power. Somebody's taking advantage of either your kindness, your expertise, your forgiving nature. In some way, I feel that you may be taken advantage of, okay? And you're really getting sick of it. You're kind of feeling this sense of, I'm worth more than this. And this person takes me for granted and also takes everything they can from me. So there's this sense of really shoring up your own personal power here, which is actually really promising, especially for Scorpio. You guys feel so deeply, and you can become very attached, especially to people, but also to situations and jobs and things like that, groups of people or habits, any of those things you can become very attached to because they do hold a certain emotional charge with you, and that is very deeply rooted, okay? Especially if you're watching this and you're a Scorpio moon, that's going to be an incredible, there's going to be a real grip there, okay? But you're really getting tired of it, and it makes sense because the way that I'm feeling it is this is something you've been putting up with for a very long time, and I think that over this last year, maybe even just over the last few months, that part's going to be different for everybody. But recently, we'll just leave it at recently, you've been starting to feel this sense of feeling like you deserve more, or you're worth more, or that you simply want to live differently. And that might be the highest vibrational manifestation of the specific feeling, is that feeling that I want to live differently. I want to live my best life. I want to live in full alignment. And being used or taken advantage of or taken for granted or whatever that might be is not in your full alignment. Okay, so why do I feel like I want to take both of these? All right, so we've got the Prince of Cups coming up here, which I feel like is talking about that alignment within the heart space. So this is an emotional situation for you. The Alchemist is coming up, which is the Magician card in this deck. And it's kind of, again, repeating that idea of self-empowerment through the heart space. It's knowing that your emotions are no longer... they should not be considered extraneous or inappropriate. Someone may have told you at some point in your life that the depth of your emotions are inappropriate, and that's not true. We all certainly have times when we need to be aware if we are acting out, and maybe acting out of wounding in an emotional way, right? But our emotions themselves are important indicators that can either point us to things in ourselves that are hurting, right? Or it can help to give us a reading about when we are acting or when we are in situations that are out of alignment with our highest and best good, okay? When we are not following our own hearts. And that's what I feel like is happening for you now, that you're really starting to understand when you are in alignment with your heart. We've got the Star that came up next, and that feels like that connection to the divine or to the higher self, that connection to that higher piece of yourself that maybe has been hidden for a very long time. It comes up next to the Hanged Man. So I do get the sense that this has been a long time coming. It's taken some time to get here, and it's sort of a new vibration for you. They're saying that this is maybe a newer experience in your life. It's not that you've never ever felt guided before, or felt guided from your heart, or been in alignment before. Many of you obviously have. I've got listeners from all across the spectrum of awakening, in anywhere in their process of awakening. So some of you are deep into this, but I do feel like for some of you, this has been a long time coming, and you're finally like reaching that point of no return, that tipping point in your life where a lot of shit that is not working for you is about to get cleared out. You're about to stop allowing yourself to be in this martyr space where you're continuing to give to people who do not appreciate it. Or people who take advantage of it. Again, that's going to be all along a spectrum. Some people literally are not appreciating you. Some people are, they might actually simply be too... I guess this is not appreciating you either, but they might simply be too selfish to even know that there is a different way they should be behaving. There are the people who know that their behavior is not ideal and still do it, and then there are the people who don't know and they do it. And so there's a continuum there, but in either case, it's not your responsibility to teach them necessarily. We all teach each other, but there is a certain point when things do not change in your life that you have to cut things off. You have to move on and move forward, and sometimes leave people where they are. Meet them where they are and then leave them where they are is kind of the feeling that I'm getting here. With the Hanged Man, it also gives me this sense that these people might have been in your life for a very long time for some of you. Others, not so much. It's not 100% necessary. If you're resonating with this, I think you're going to know who this person is, because it's going to be somebody who grinds your gears on the regular, okay? There could even be a lot of love, or at least respect and care there, some kind of emotional attachment. But I do feel that you're just really getting to the end of your rope with it, and that you're beginning to really see the places in which this is not honoring you. Yeah. Dog hair. So the next card coming up is the King of Pentacles. And I feel like that's that, that really large and in charge kind of energy that's showing through you now as you gain this personal power, this sense of what you're worth. And I think that you're realizing, either in another business, another job, another opportunity, another relationship, there is someone else will value you more. Okay. And so there's definitely a change coming in, a move from the position that you've been in. Let's go ahead and get the advice for Scorpio. What's the advice for Scorpio, please? What's the advice for Scorpio for the next 2 weeks? Okay. We've got the Empress with the Ten of Cups. I really feel like the big challenge here, and it's not even so much of a challenge because you're really already there, but what you need to make sure you're focusing on is what honors you, okay? And what is it that you truly want and deserve in your life? What gives you that fulfillment? Because if this is not it, and you've made attempts to express yourself and change things and whatever. I mean, you have no obligation to do that, but obviously, most human beings will make some attempt to make things better, okay? If you've tried that and this person is still behaving in a way which is really encroaching upon your personal power, it is not in alignment with what you know that you want or that you know that you're worth in your life, then it's certainly time to move on. And knowing that is the first step. Knowing what you're worth, what you want, is the first step. And I think that there's some clearing that has taken place recently, which has allowed you to kind of shoot for the stars, like to imagine the possibilities, to imagine that miracles can happen, in a sense. And in the past, maybe you were so locked into this that you felt that you couldn't move forward, you couldn't you couldn't do better, so to speak. Again, words fail me. They don't quite adequately express what I want to express, but you might have just been able to start glimpsing what this is, okay? Because in the past you may have felt really locked into something, or maybe you didn't even feel like you deserved better. Maybe you didn't believe that you had value, okay? That is not unusual. Unfortunately, that is not unusual. You're beginning to see your value now, your immense value with the Empress coming up. And that's all about, it's about creation, it's about value, it's about abundance. There's immense value in abundance, okay? And seeing the sort of bliss that you deserve or want or desire in your life, okay? So that is, the advice is to figure that out, to know that, be honest with yourself about it and align to it. And the things that do not fit anymore are going to start falling away, okay? They're saying that you don't even need to do a lot necessarily in some of these situations, that they are, in some cases, they're simply going to fall away on their own because you've resolved a certain piece of karma within you surrounding the idea of what you're worth, okay, or what what you deserve in your life, okay? The final card we've got here is the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords takes no shit. And so I think it's kind of about moving forward, taking no shit, and making the changes, setting the boundaries where necessary. Not everybody will necessarily be leaving a job or a relationship, but you absolutely must be stepping into a new arrangement then with the same person or organization or company. Okay, you cannot take this shit anymore, if that makes sense. You cannot accept this treatment or this behavior which is below your worth, your value. Okay, this is not about being self-centered, or it's not about being any kind of a narcissist. This is about creating justice where you have been done wrong in the past, okay? So I hope this was meaningful for you guys and that this was helpful. Like I said, no extended readings this week. I hope to pick those back up in the future. However, if you would like to set up a private session with me, you can do that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. Okay. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all your likes, your comments, and your subscribes. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. All right. Bye.